Hello, everyone. It is Megan from the Putnam County Library, but not at the Putnam County Library. This is our third year of Upcycled Crafts on Earth Day. We started in 2020 when the library was closed, and then last year we continued it, and now it's become a tradition. I put on a flowered shirt, I put on my flowered crown, and we do a craft together, and it's so much fun. So I'm here at my house in my little craft corner, but you don't have to have a craft corner to enjoy making some crafts. I'm not a professional crafter by any means. You're gonna see that as we do this. I'm definitely just, let's give it a try, and if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, we'll try something else. I feel like Bob Ross sometimes, like sometimes the mistakes, you just make them into another happy little tree, right? So, like I said, this is our third year doing crafts. If you have any comments, I'm watching the chat, so pop them in. And if you're watching this on the replay, you can still pop them in, and we will get back to them and give you an answer. So the very first year, we did one of my favorite crafts. This is a paper hydrangea. So we cut out little flower shapes out of old books, and then I hot glued them to a styrofoam ball. But if you don't have a styrofoam ball, but you have, an old sports ball that your kids don't use anymore, or a baseball, or just anything round in your house, you can do this. And so that's our paper hydrangea. So I'll toss that off to the side. And then we also, with the scraps from the flower shapes for the paper hydrangea, we wrapped them around this cone shape and made this little flower tree. So that was year one. And then last year, we made a few fun things. I don't know, we took old book pages and just stenciled over them, and then added them to these cute little clipboards, or an old clipboard. If not a lot of people use clipboards anymore in their offices, but if you did have them, and I actually made this stencil. So I found an image on the internet, printed it out, cut it out with my X-Acto knife, and then put it on a folder, like a manila folder, so it's a little sturdier. So then we just painted over that. So it really is things you can just find around the house, or, if you do go to the craft shops and you're walking through looking for ideas, I like the clearance aisle, or the $1 aisle, where you're going up front in those bins, and I just grab random things every year. And a lot of the times, next year for Upcycled Earth Day crafts, we bring some of them out. Last year we also decoupaged old book pages onto terracotta pots, but I have things planted in those pots downstairs, so I didn't drag them upstairs for the video. So what are we going to make this year? I was looking around, and actually this was one of my favorite things I've ever done, so I wanted to share it with you. And then we have one other thing that was also fun that I just came to do when I was walking through the clearance bin. Bethany, I know you love a clearance bin. We all love a clearance bin. So a few years ago, we threw a friend of mine a Pride and Prejudice themed book party. Gee, librarian throwing a literary book party. I even ordered these Mr. Darcy cutouts and Elizabeth cutouts for the cookies that year. Yeah, I'm that friend. But I made these paper fans for the party. And so this is the one I already have, because I kept this one because it was so pretty. We're going to do something. I'll show you how we put this one together, but also how you can do maybe some less intense ones, just with some book pages that you may have lying around in the old books that you might be using for crafting. So that's the already put together one. So you can use, fancy paper from your craft store. They do this. Again, this is a clearance block of paper. How pretty are some of those, right? So whenever anything's on clearance that I might be able to use for crafting later, I go ahead and grab it. Also, they also sell single sheets of things if you don't need the whole block. These are on clearance for $1/4 each. Okay, I couldn't resist. I like maps and I like old letters, and so that's a lot of fun. So I just grabbed some of these, and you can use those as well. Or, like I said, I also just did it out of some book pages. So we will show you all of the ways. So first, I still have, yes, the Jane Austen specific block of paper. and we will make one out of that first, and then we'll make the more low-key one out of just the book pages. So this is where we adjust the video so you can hear me, but you can mostly see what I'm doing. Now, I'll tell you, I am the world's worst folder. Origami is not my craft. I can't even fold a trifold letter sometimes. But this is a fun thing to do, and if it's not quite 100% right, it's okay. So you can see I've made a small fold like that. So we're just going to accordion fold this page all the way down. So, and again, like I said, if it's not 100% accurate, that's okay. These are just, I'm not trying to sell these. I'm just going to put them up in my house, and I know I'm imperfect, right? So our crafting can be imperfect. Don't let any feelings like that hold you back from trying something new. Everyone's going to mess up the first time. No one's a right off the bat perfect crafter or perfect projector or anything like that. So we're going to keep folding this all the way down. And this paper is pretty thick. That is why I liked this kind of scrapbook paper, because your fan is going to be more sturdy when you are done. So almost there. Like I said, my folds are not perfect. That's okay. So I'm going to kind of leave this one a little larger. So we're going to do it. See, we've got some corresponding colors here. So I know Miss Bethany is watching, and I know she loves a good pattern mix. So that's what we're doing here. We have complementary colors, but we're going to mix some patterns here in our fold. So these are square sheets, so it doesn't really matter which direction you're folding, which is nice. You just keep folding. So anybody have any questions so far? It's not terribly complicated. It's, a little about an inch fold for our little fan here that we're making. And again, this can be anything you have lying around the house. You can have these old scrapbook pages. Maybe you were a scrapbooker for a while and you've used the pages you want to, but there are some floating around that you haven't used. This is a good use for that. My house is a little warm because I'm not turning on the AC yet. I'm waiting until it's really, really warm. So these fans are going to come in handy because, like I said, because they are sturdier paper, they do actually, do fan pretty well. Okay, so there's our second fan. So you can, because I left a little larger fold at the end of both of them. So what I've done in the past, we're not going to do it here for the sake of time, but you can glue these two seams together to make it a sturdier fan. And I will go back and do that after, but for now, I want to show you, Megan, come on. Okay, so we're going to accordion all of this together. So how do we make it actually into the fan? Almost everyone has some ribbon, some extra ribbon lying around. Again, clearance. I picked up some Eiffel Tower ribbon. You can use any of it. So we're going to use some of this pink ribbon here. And I don't measure. I'm not a measurer. So we're just going to grab some. Can everyone see what I'm doing? I think you can. And again, I don't have the world's best dexterity. But that doesn't stop me from crafting, so it doesn't have to be perfect. If your hands don't work quite like they used to, you can still do the things you love and keep at it. Like I said, also, it took me till 3rd grade to learn how to tie my shoes. That was the one thing I failed at in my youth. So sometimes tying things isn't great for me either. But look how cute that turned out. So here is your paper fan, and like I said, it is a little warm in my room. So easy peasy. You just needed 2 pieces of paper and a little ribbon. But I also did one a little bit smaller, but isn't this cute for you can put it on your shelf or a little decoration. It's a little less useful as an actual fan, but this is just 2 pages from an old copy of the Odyssey that I found. I love maps, so we did it with maps, and again, I didn't glue them, but you could, and just some twine. So again, even if you don't have fancy ribbon, I just took the twine and wrapped it around a few times to make it sturdier. And so there's our little fan. How cute is that? Does anybody have any questions so far about this project or even any of the ones we've done in the past? I'm happy to answer questions or even take suggestions if anyone has any suggestions on what we can do for next year or anything like that. You know, most of our programming at the library has returned in person in library, and then in the summer we'll see you all outside, but there were a few things that we still want to leave virtual for those of us who can't join us inside. So this was one of those things that was easy to do virtually, and also I didn't want to haul my whole craft shelf into the office. So this is fun. You know, I like coming to you all this way, and we like doing these crafts. So paper fans are a decoration that, you know, you can use in the house. We might put some in the library and you can change out the colors. And if you wanted to keep going, I know I keep folding off screen, but you could actually keep going and make this a big circle, almost like a wreath. So there are many, many things you can do kind of with that folding technique. Now, this isn't necessarily, part of it will be upcycled because part of it is with the book pages, but again, you know, not expensive, but I took one of these little kind of shadow box picture frames, again, like in the dollar aisle at your local craft store, and, you know, I Mod Podged just a book page behind there, and then, you know, since it's a little shadow box, you can add, you know, little flowers or stickers or anything like that that you do have laying around. Like I said, I'm the queen of I don't need that yet, but I might need those blue flowers. So they were $1. I went on ahead and picked them up. So isn't that cute? Like you could just hang that on your wall for decoration. If you are a Jane Austen fan like I am, I do have like a little Jane Austen bookshelf. So all my little Austen crafts go there. So for that, you know, I do have some Mod Podge glue. But again, these are old soup cups, you know, that I had laying around the house from like a takeout order a long time ago. So again, like you can buy like the nice little like paint holder official things, but you can also just use the things you have laying around the house. That is what I like to do. So while I was making that first one, I did learn a few lessons. I don't know if you can see in this one, I didn't cut the page to fit. I kind of made it, I don't know if you can see it with the light. So you can see I just kind of tucked the page in on the glue and let it dry. But then I thought, oh, I'll cut out the sides. But it was still wet and it wasn't cutting very well. So there's your lesson. If you want it exact in there, I'm not necessarily always an exact type of crafter, but if you want it exact, you would measure it kind of on the back, you know, of your shape here. Actually, we've got a little hexagon too. It was the price of $1, which is almost free. So we did that. So, you know, you grab your pencil. Can you see? Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm doing. You just grab your pencil, just easy. Doesn't have to be exact. Just kind of cutouts. And then we'll cut that out. I do also have, if you do want to, a little more exact, you know, I did pick up just a little, you know, I don't want to cut into my nice desk. This is also like my work from home desk. So I do have a little sheet here, you know, thick pad and an X-Acto knife if you want to do that. But for this, we can just cut it in that kind of hexagon shape for our hexagonal shadow box. And again, some of these things you may already have laying around your house. If you've got an old wood frame, like a picture frame, and you want to turn it into something else, you can. Oh, that's still a little big. So now that I've got the basic shape, I'm just going to cut it down just a little bit more. Like I said, you don't have to be exact. If you want to be exact, awesome. If you don't, that's okay too. So that's okay. I'm going to have it be a little up the sides here. So that's going to be the base of our shadow box. So I do have some glue. So if you're a younger crafter, you may want to have your parent or guardian or older sibling help you with the glue. This glue is pretty smelly and pretty intense. If you are a young crafter, they probably won't sell it to you at the craft store. You will have to have an older shopper with you. So we are just my glue paintbrush got a little dry, that's okay. So we really are just covering the base of our little shadow box. And that does dry clear. This particular bottle of Mod Podge, because it's also a sealant. I don't know if you can see that. So water-based glue, sealer, and finish. So this one has a matte finish when it dries, but it does dry clear. And then I also have a gloss finish. So it really just depends on kind of what you want it to look like when you are done. Okay, so we are going to take our little map here and just tuck it in, you know, into our corners, and let the glue do its thing. Like I said, it does dry clear, so, you know, you don't have to worry about if you see the glue in the corner, you're like, man, I don't want to see that. It will dry clear. So I'm taking some of the excess glue that is coming up, you know, up the sides, and just kind of sealing our little map inside. Oh my gosh, I love how this turned out. I love when a plan comes together. So when you're using this kind of glue, obviously have some paper towels handy. I'm so sticky after all of these examples. So if you also want to, you can also put a little color, if you want to just maybe like whitewash the sides of your shadow box or anything like that. You know, the glue at the crafts, or the paint at the craft stores, aren't necessarily that expensive either. So you can just kind of do that. You can whitewash kind of your edges there, or any color. I do have a couple colors out here, some of my favorite colors. I've got a purple, I've got a yellow. You know, if you were going to do something with flowers, that would be a lot of pretty colors. So you can just kind of do that around the edges, and then you're going to let all that dry, and then you can put in your little decorations, kind of like this with the roses. Yes, it is a great way to keep a keepsake from a trip, using a map and maybe some other things that you found while you were on your trip, like souvenirs. Like I know I keep turning my head, but like I always have shells from the beach. So if you wanted to make a little shell shadow box from, you know, your trip, find a little map of where you went, and you can tuck those into, you know, these little shadow boxes. You know, like I said, this was a purchase. I didn't just find these around my house, but they were, you know, very, very reasonable, like, you know, $1 or $2. So you can do that in your little shadow boxes too. Thank you, Bethany. That is a great idea. Do it on, you can cut out a little picture, you know, like a smaller picture. And, you know, you can glue that on top of your map or your book page like that. And like I said, I do, you know, these were just old books, some favorite books, but, you know, a great place to get things to use for your upcycled book crafts, perhaps the book sale room at any of your Putnam County libraries. And then you just cut, you know, into the book, you know, at the spine, and have it, you know, pop out. Or you can pull it if you don't mind kind of rough edges. Like I said, The Odyssey is one of my favorite books, and this was a book that you know, was well loved on our shelves at the library, and we got a new version and put that on the shelf. So, you know, I bought from the book sale room an old version. You know, it's got the cool kind of dolphins in there. So I use this is what I did our terracotta pots with last year. And speaking of all of the crafts and all of the virtual programs we've done in the past, our original content videos, you can actually go back and view those at any time. They remain in our Facebook library on our library page, our library Facebook page. They also reside on the library's YouTube page. That's right, we've moved them over. So if you do want to go back and look at year 1 with the paper hydrangeas, or year 2 with our stenciled book page art, you can go back and make all of those crafts at any time. And maybe you'll want to go back and check out this video to do our cute little shadow boxes. And I threw all the fans on the floor. Out of my way. I'm a messy cook, I'm a messy crafter, and you can make your little paper fans. So does anybody have any questions on the crafts that we did this year? Speaking of now Earth Day traditions, because in year 3, I think that makes it a tradition, earlier on today, Renee uploaded her annual chicken chat, where she sits in her yard and gives us chicken facts while surrounded by her chickens. So make sure you head over to the library's Facebook page and check out this year's edition of Chicken Chat. You can go back and look at past year's chicken chats as well. So I wish you all a happy Earth Day, happy crafting, and have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.